Saturday, the 28th of September, you're here in Most in the Czech Republic for the last two races in the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. We're looking forward to the race in the Superbike category. And of course, there is also still a championship to be decided, although due to the nil score in race 2 from Pavel Skopek, it is the leader in the competition so far. No other than Hanika, who has got his hands pretty firmly fit to the trophy. Well, we're looking here on screen to the number 13 with a beautiful first row start to his Yamaha in the traditional yellow and white colors. And we're talking about the Finnish rider for Ville Valtonen, who is the sole representative for Michelin tires in the front row, while we're looking at the number 4 of Nico Toni, also back from the Bordeaux. The ladies from Iribros, the Ducati from Poland. The number 66 looking on the screen will depart from 7th position on the grid. He's got his whole team with him, looking forward, more or less his home race. It's around the corner. We got a lineup with at least 27 riders on the grid while we're looking at the number 66 of Iribros. And looking forward to a good race, and I think the stars are tiny little bit in favor to our pole sitter, number 98, racing for the Funny Gastro BMW Motorrad team. It is Karel Hanika from the Czech Republic, because he was pretty much into his own, wasn't he, Mislav?
Yes, yes, 0.6 of a second was Hanika in front of Pavel Skopek for Pacera Racing. Ville Valtonen on the third place. 1.1 seconds difference between him and Hanika.
The strange thing is it, if I look at the screen, is it still the same, or have they changed something there? I don't know. Hey, the number 24, there was a bit of a story last time out. Marco Jerman, Mislav. We heard about the crash he had in Grobnik.
We've seen it, actually.
We've seen it, and we've been there. We saw it, we were talking about it yesterday, and to be honest with you, the bike didn't have a scratch on it. Yeah, you know, the windscreen was still in one part. It was incredible. It was such a high speed, and he just slid into the grass in a demanding leading position in Grobnik. So hopefully he will be able to repeat his great effort in Grobnik and see if we can get the pace here as well here in Most.
Yes, he struggled on the qualifyings because yesterday he only did one training. Therefore, today was his first, let's say, real practice session, and therefore he did not have the time to adapt.
Yeah, this is looking at the number 45, which is his regular number, and they make it a 454, is Mark Zervini, racing for the Waypol team in the IRSC. He's a multiple IRSC champion in the 600 category. Already stepped up to the big class. Davy Todd is the one who clinched the championship there. And he was third again in this championship. Mark Cervini, he is also well known for his wins in the Netherlands in the IRC races in Hengelo, one of the notorious road races there. And there's a link to Most, of course, since they have been, organizing those road races here in Most as well. Now with the permanent track here on the outskirts of the industrial town of Most, and it's a beautiful track here, 4th kilometer. 4,212 meters to be exactly, and these superbikes will be doing cracking lap times. If you're looking at it, 135.9 meters left, that's quite serious.
Outstanding lap times, yes, I have to.
That was us in the tower. We should have waved, but we're too late.
Fast times indeed, but we'll see. Hanika has a lot of trouble getting off and starting into the race.
Yeah, it was got some trouble, and let's see if some other guys, maybe Philip Steinmeier, also back from the very successful outing in the Bordeaux with the rest of the Wojciech racing team. As said before, 4th in stock, 13th overall, so he also has got enough mileage under his belt since last week. But also good to see him back here as well. You know, they could thrown in the towel like, phew, I just had a 24 endurance race, but they're here.
Yes, of course. This is always a good practice for them.
And a good championship, and also Philip Steinmeier is doing great for himself. 5th in the overall standing from Austria, ESA Racing Team. and he's on 77 points with a win actually in the Pannonia Ring and 2 third places already this season. So also something to be reckoned with.
A lot of things we are looking forward in this race, but the main question is, can Skopek put up a good fight?
Our Swiss contender Yves Lindegger, also a regular within the championship. Okay, well, let's get through the order. Pole position while we're still going through the grid for Karel Hanika. Second position for Pavel Skopek, and this was also the situation within the championship. The numbers 1 and 2 next to one another, with Ville Valtone in third position, first row for him. Philip Steinmeier in fourth position next to him. Nico Toni, we've seen quite a few impressive things already from Nico this year. Looking forward to that again. Milos Ciak in sixth position. Jiří Broz, we've seen there in the seventh position, third row. Eighth position for Marco Jerman, so 2 Ducatis there with the Austrian Gerald Gesselbauer. Gesselbauer we saw on his windscreen, the number 144 there. Then it's the fourth row, 10th slot for Marc Cerveni, as we talked before from the IRC. Irina Zikora in 11th position. Piotr Falat, 12th position, 5th row for Thomas Heintaler. And he's accompanied by Vaclav Bietman and Florian Hüssler on that row 5. Row 6 for Mark Hartl, Yves Lindegger, as we've seen just before, for Richard Barkar. And then we go to row 7, David Ornicek, if I pronounce it well. Stanislav Polak in the 20th position and Thomas Zajic in 21st. Duchina, 22nd. Pazera, Patrick Pazera. I thought he had a few points in Grobnik, but I can't see it on the point scoring. Though it was in his point scoring. Nevertheless, he's there for Pazera, racing in number 16 and 23rd position. Dowalewski, 24th. Knezovic, 25th. Grodzki, 26th, and 27th is for Durniek Marius. He's there. And concentrating there on his race, starting way back on the grid. It was difficult seeing the light from that position. But in pole position, looking at him right now, the number 98 of Karel Hanika, star from the Red Bull rookies, outgrown the smaller bikes, feeling pretty much at home now within the Bridgestone clad BMW. Looking forward to opportunities in the season 2020. Bridgestone, of course, well known for their endurance efforts, but also here in the Alpe Adria already, well, putting a bit of a mark.
Yes, the Bridgestone has progressed over the years and managed to get a good compound. Before they had a lot of trouble with the durability, but now it's managed properly, and therefore they're in contention for the victory.
Yeah, well, Hanika had 5 wins, a second place and 2 thirds. Should have actually already clinched the title, wasn't it? He had 2 DNFs, one in the second race in, second race in Pannonia, and the second race in the Slovakia ring was both a nil score. So there you go, but it was the coming together which was been debated, especially in the last race in Rijeka in Grobnik, your home track, where in the last few meters of the last corner, if I remember well, they might have exchanged some body part there.
There had been a touch, but it has been resolved as an racing incident. Therefore, no sanctions have been put out. But there was contact. There was contact.
There was a close fight between the numbers 1 and 2 in the championship. Karel Hanika and Pavel Skopek, to whom I spoke earlier this morning, also for his contribution to the Ball d'Or, where he was also racing against his brother, who we just saw earlier in the Stock 1000. And they gambled on tires, and that lost them the win because of the wrong choice of tires in the horrendous conditions there in France. Nevertheless, he had a good fight. It was pretty prominently in the footage of Eurosport. So good promotion there also for Pavel Skopek. He just had a haircut here on on the paddock. Probably just getting a bit more comfortable within the helmet. Grid's being cleared. Last wishes of success. It's good to see our Finnish Ville Valtonen, who's a bit lonely in his pit box, because normally he's accompanied in the pit box by Jasmin Sarrios, but she's not there, so he's got only one bike in his pit box. But good for the concentration, because he put it on third. I think it's the first time we see him depart from front row. You remember that?
For a long time, for sure, but
yeah,
can't say if this is the only time.
Well, I think it's the first time since I've been accompanying the championship for this season. I think it is Hanika who's already nervous for the start, because this is only the warm-up lap. And as you mentioned, Mislav, Hanika not being the best of friends with his BMW from the starting line So let's see what he does in a few seconds time, when they're on their way. And of course, this is the Superbike category. This is the longest race of the day, 13 laps in total, a distance of 54.75 kilometers here on the track of the Autodrome Most.
A lot of excitement right in front of us with this Superbike race. If you just joined us, we're live at Autodrome Most on the final round of the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. We had 5 races by now, and this is our 6th, and we'll be closing our program with the FIM Super Mono Cup following the Superbikes. So a lot of excitement still yet to come here.
Yeah, this is a bit of an extra. We have the Super Mono riders with us again. They have been a part of the Alpe Adria Motorcycle Championship before in Assen, and they are going to race 3 races this weekend, and also for their championship to be decided, but that's later on today. Now we're concentrating on the Superbikes. Full lineup, 27 riders on the grid. So plenty of action going around, and as you can see, sun is out, beautiful track conditions, it's almost perfect. There was a bit of a wind, it's a bit, the flags are still blowing into the direction of the last corner, so there's a full headwind on the main straight, 792 meters long. So horsepower lane is open. Anyone who's got the best exit out of the last corner will take that with them on the straights.
Skopek comes onto the line. We're waiting for the rest of the field to approach their positions.
Let's see if Skopek can get the whole shot and pull away. Here's Hanika, who's got the better in the lap times. 0.6 the difference between the two of them. The only one sub 36.
And again, Hanika with a bad start. It's Skopek right in the front. Skopek takes the whole shot. They're coming into the first chicane. Yes, and Skopek manages to stay in front. Right behind him, it's number 98, Karl Hanika.
Yeah, it's Hanika and Steinmeier in third, as we see late braking from Karl Hanika to keep in touch with the pole, the whole shot taker Pavel Skopek. But a beautiful start from the second row for the number 41, Philipp Steinmeier. And he is pretty close behind now, and he's already going for the inside. It is Karl Hanika taking the lead already halfway, even before the first tight right-hander in the back part of the straight, and he's pulling away straight away. It looks like Karl Hanika, it means business.
After a bad start, once again, Hanika regains his leading position in front of Pavel Skopek, and it's Philipp Steinmeier on the third place. Ville Valtonen had a difficult entrance into the first chicane, lost a ton of positions.
Bit of a shame if you're in the wrong part of the track there in that tight first right-hand corner. You lose so many spots because you take that with you to the second corner, and that will leave you open to everyone else to pass you there. But good start. Hanika pulling away already. Full confidence in the tires. Last corner now onto the straight. Full headwind. And then see what Steinmeier does to Pavel Skopek. First lap is under the belt.
So Hanika, Skopek, Steinmeier.
And then it's Nico Toni for Mark Cerveni with a great start already. Marek in 5th position for Ville Valtone. Gerald Gesselbauer. Gesselbauer to 7th position for Milos Ciak. Vaclav Bittman and Thomas Heintaler is the top 10 as we speak.
Still crowded here. That is our number 24, Marko Jerman.
We go shortly back to the replay of the start and see what happened in those few meters. There you see Pavel Skopek clearing off.
Jerman lost a lot of positions. He's on the 19th position.
Bad start with the Ducati. Here we look at the late braking Hanika, Steinmeier, Valtonen swamped a tiny little bit in the inside. He's in the outside now. Yeah, he had to upright. There's the Yamaha. And that cost him a lot of spots. Have you seen Jerman there? Nah, that's the long way up. All right, we're back live again with our leader, Karol Hanika, the number 98. And he's got a 34-point difference. And it should have been Skopek in front of him. If he clinches this one, then he's got the title under his belt. So he's trying to wrap it up as we speak already in the first race of this weekend. Whoa, Steinmeier.
Steinmeier goes out.
You can keep an eye where he slots back. Difficult to see. Well, definitely lost 4th position anyway. Nico Toni and Mark Cerveni were really close by, so he lost a couple of spots, and maybe even Ville Valtone was able to profit from it. There he is. Lost his braking point, decided to go straight on. Is out of his rhythm straight away. You can see everyone is holding up the rest of the field.
Still Hanika way in the front, building up his advantage. Skopek now feels a bit lonely on the 2nd place.
Let's keep an eye out for 3rd position. Lap times we'll take into consideration for the next lap. Will be our first real test with 36.55 already for Hanika. Skopek at 37.09. There's that fight. Or is it Steinmeier who did not concede his place? But difficult to see is the number 4. Is Nico Toni. It's 4 or 41. Difficult to see in the sunlight. Ville Valtone now there in a close fight. It is Hanika, Skopek, Steinmeier. He's still in 3rd, so he hasn't lost a thing.
Skopek makes a mistake and has to take that long line.
It's Toni still now. But as you see, if you take the shortcut, well, it is Steinmeier who should have lost a bit more than that, but weirdly enough, he's still there.
Still manages to stay on the 2nd place. Pavel Skopek.
Taking the shortcut doesn't cost you that much money. Or time in this case. But
he definitely lost some time, but not enough to lose a position.
Nothing. Karol Hanika is aware of. It's all behind his back. He just concentrates on his pace. He was actually hoping for rain when I spoke to him Friday afternoon. He said, I don't mind a bit of rain, Bridgestone tyres, I like the track, I like the rain. Well, and the drying doesn't make much of a difference. He's away anyway. This is the tight fight now. Here Skopek still in 2nd. Steinmeier both made the same mistake in turn 1. and only clapped everything together. They're back into the main straight again. Skopek, Steinmeier, let's look at those lap times. 36.4 for Hanika, Skopek 39, of course, with that detour. 37.5, and the personal best is 37 for Nico Toni.
Personal. So Skopek holds on to his position, but only barely.
Really close. We're looking into the sunlight now. Since it's quite late in the afternoon, already in September, sunlight is a bit of an issue for the riders as well, because it's pretty low already towards the hillsides here around the track of Most. Will be something for the next races, but dark visors are being put onto the helmets to have a bit of a better view. Close fight. Skopek is absolutely being hunted down by Steinmeier and Toni. Valtonen in 5th at the moment in the last outing, and then Chiak. Cerveni lost a few places now in 7th position. Gesselbauer 8th, 9th position for Bietmann. Sikora 10th. That's our last crossing. We cross the line, then we still have 8 laps to go. And that's the case for Karel Hanika right now. Demanding lead now for Hanika. Skopek 7.2 seconds down the road with a 38.2.
Steinmeier loses his position, tries to claw back and manages to do so. But the fight is still on.
Good Nico Toni. 2 Austrians fighting it out. Side by side. Austria against Austria. Now it's Nico Toni in front of Philipp Steinmeier. Philipp Valtonen not able to make good use of that scrimmage in front of him. Slightly behind. Yeah, it's a 36.6 for the last lap of Karel Hanika. Pulling away every lap with a difference of about, what is it? About 1.8 seconds a lap. So no problems there whatsoever.
Still a harsh fight for the second place. Three-way battle still going on, with Ville Valtonen not so far behind.
Let's see what he can do. Maybe really get it.
Valtonen was a bit faster than Nico Toni in the last lap, so
let's see what he does now.
So Steinmeier takes again the position, but Toni pulls it back in.
All behind the back of Pavel Skopek. Now it's Toni in pursuit of Pavel Skopek. Can he put a wheel in front of it? Now the furthest part of the track. Now they're heading back towards the double chicane. Bit of a poor exit for Steinmeier. Last time out, Ville Valtonen pulled his personal best at 38.01, which is not good enough because the other guy's doing 37s. So he's pushing, but not closing in. Skopek might have seen or heard or felt the difference, the charge of the 2 Austrians, Nico Toni and Philipp Steinmeier.
Into the final corner, Skopek, Toni, Steinmeier and Ville Valtonen.
These guys have huge endurance capacity and experience, so counting down the clock in this particular race should not be any problem.
Ville Valtonen takes his personal best this lap.
He takes a big chunk out of it. You know, we had difficulties getting sub 38s. Now does his 37.599.
Yes, as the fuel leaves the tank, he probably gets a better grip of his bike and therefore manages to close down. This is a three-way battle for second place. Still, Valtonen trying to close down completely on this leading group.
Looking at Marco Jerman, he was in 19th position earlier. Now he's in 13th, getting his personal best up to a 38.2, not within the 37 benchmark what he should be capable of. Florian Hessler being pushed towards heights, doing a 38.2, 38.8 as well. So they're both, no, 38.8. That's Horst Hessler trying to follow Marco Jerman, so it's doing him good as well.
Valtonen still waiting for his opportunity to claw back into the fight for the rostrum, but without a fight in front, he cannot close down.
Another lap gone. Pavel Skopik pulling away slightly. 37.5 Skopik, 37.4 now for Nico Toni, 37.5 again for Steinmeier. And Ville Valtonen now with a 37.8. He's capable of keeping it under the 37s, but that's what the rest of the guys are doing. Everyone's just doing the same pace, and then it's difficult to claw back that difference. Whatever Valtonen is trying to throw at them, they answer already, and it is Toni putting pressure on Pavel Skopik. Different entrance to the corner. Cerveni back to 6th position. Was able to do 37.6 early before now in the 140 bracket. Different ball game. Aye, aye, aye. Nico Toni was thinking about putting a wheel in front of Pavel Skopik. Keeping it tight through the corner section there. Flip-flop section in the back between corners 15 and 17. Now towards the bended straight here to the last two corners, turn 20 and 21. Up to the main straight again. Close together as you like. Let's see what this next crossing will bring. Karel Hanika just crossed the line with a very, very healthy lead of, what is it, 9.1 seconds, which is more than enough. Skopik still second. We're looking at the lap times now, 37.6, 37.6. 7.66, it's close together now. Ville Valtonen 37.9. Still not closing in. Cerveni in 6th position, back into the 39s again. No change on track. Another 3.5 laps to go in this 13-lap Superbike race. We were on this Saturday afternoon. Tying a little bit of shade due to the clouds overcasting the track. No rain predicted, but keeping the sunlight out of our eyes and also out of the eyes of the pilots on track, which is more important, of course. And it is Karel Hanika. If he keeps it on the road, who's going to clinch the Superbike title in the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship in the first outing of this weekend. He will have done enough to get that championship onto his name, but we should not be too enthusiastic because we've still got another 3 laps to go. Skopek is pulled out a few bike lengths, and if the screen is refreshing, did a 37.2, but also 37.2 for Nico Toni, his personal best, definitely not letting go.
Yes, he is still in contention, and of course he doesn't want to let it go because only a tenth and a half is in between them.
Good for Toni, you know, still being able to do better even at the end of the race. Might have something left in the tank. Philippe Valtone doing a great job, but not getting closer at all. Doing consistent lap times now of 37.9, which is not enough to get any closer towards the rostrum. Hanika clearly in control. Back to the fight for second and third. Difference on the line between the second and third Skopek and Nico Toni was 0.4 of a second. Seems to be the same right now as we look visually with you here live on YouTube. Pazera Racing, that's the team providing the Yamaha R1 with Dunlop tires to Pavel Skopek, and has done a good job by pulling out slightly towards his nemesis Nico Toni, who was under threat for his fellow countryman Philipp Steinmeier, who's got his eyes set on that last position on the rostrum. Two Austrians fighting it out behind our Polish friend. So it's the Czech Republic being represented by Karel Hanika, firmly in the lead with the penultimate lap on their way.
We were hoping that Toni would be a bit closer in this final stages of this Superbike race, penultimate race of the day here at Autodrom Most, but Skopek is pulling away slightly.
Nico Toni racing for fun, that's what his team name is, and he's hopefully having fun, keeping his countryman at bay, Philipp Steinmeier. Skopek looks to have settled enough and has done enough. Oh, there's Steinmeier. Whoa, different lines. He has been able to put a wheel in front or not. No.
He's saving it for the final lap in which Karel Hanika is entering as we speak.
Dress rehearsal for Philipp Steinmeier.
So it's all or nothing for Philipp Steinmeier. We'll see the difference in between them.
Good exit for the last corner.
Only 0.2 of a second between Toni and Steinmeier.
That's the fight. Oh, there he goes. Steinmeier to the inside in the first corner. Takes third, goes a tiny little bit wide. Is it Toni who's repaying the compliment? Not yet.
We will have a fight until the last moment. Toni tried and he overtook Steinmeier, but Steinmeier pulls back in front and holds the third position. Can he hold them off in this half a lap? Toni almost crashes out. He lost the front, and I believe this is it for Steinmeier. He managed to pull away in those couple of tenths.
It's
could be the difference.
Not over yet. It is Nico Toni who is trying to get his breath back. Probably his heart was up his throat, but he's closing in. He's closing in. He's close by. Skopek is going for second.
Steinmeier is still third, but Toni's bike is wobbling all around.
They have to go to the head of the field because he's taking the win and the championship. It is Karel Hanika who will take the championship with him to his Fanny Castro BMW team with 0 laps to go.
Toni or Steinmeier, who will come? And it's Nico Toni in front of Philipp Steinmeier.
No. Yes, Brinkley, it was in the last lap difference on the line. We're talking about a tenth of a second But ladies and gentlemen, just here around the track, if you follow us through the internet, it is no other than Karel Hanika. is taking the crown in the Superbike category. A good fight for Nico Toni and Philip Steinmeier, making it difficult. Congratulations there, of course, for Karel for his championship there. Vila Valtone 5th, Milos Ciak 6th. The 7th position is for Marek Zerveni. Gerald Gesselbauer in 8th position. Vitalo Bittman in 9th, 10th position for Irene Zikora. Yuri Bros 11th position. Marco Jerman was able to claw it back to 12th position after losing chunks in the start to 19th position for Thomas Heinthaler. Florian Hessler lost 1 position to him in 14th position, and the last points go to Switzerland. So Switzerland 14th and 15th slot for Yves Lindegger. So that's it for the Superbike race 1 of this weekend, and the new champion is crowned, and his name is Karel Hanika. Hope to see you back for the other race tomorrow. We'll continue with this broadcast shortly after the commercials, because we got an extra which is not on the calendar but brought to you by Lutech Racing. We're going to have the prototypes of the European Supermoto Cup presented to you, also live here on screen. So stay with us and enjoy that beautiful race.